where you want it.
Bay 12, please.
Hello there, Transformers fans, and welcome back to a Bay 12 video review. And today we are reviewing the newest Transformers crossover figure. I had a feeling we were bound to get to here eventually. There's been a lot of Stranger Things crossovers in a number of toy lines, but today we are covering the Transformers crossover with Stranger Things specifically. And I gotta say, not once when there were starting to be mutterings and rumors about a potential Stranger Things crossover did I consider the Surferboy Pizza delivery van. Because if you were to ask me, of all of the seasons of Stranger Things, what's an iconic thing to choose to turn into a Transformers crossover, the Surferboy Pizza van would not have been on my list. I mean, it would have been the Demogorgon, first and foremost, for sure. And honestly, I'm incredibly shocked it wasn't. But there is still time for that to happen at some point in the future. And despite this not being on my list of what I kind of hoped it would be or expected it to be, it's still actually very cool. So here is Code Red, which, I mean, that was also an interesting name for this crossover. Was Code Red Mountain Dew out back then? I don't know. Someone let me know in the comments. I don't know if it was or not. But I don't remember them making any kind of mentions of Mountain Dew or anything like that in Stranger Things Season 4 with the whole Surferboy Pizza thing, so I don't know. I don't know where they got Code Red from. Maybe they just thought it was a cool name, and it is a cool name. I just don't know if it's very fitting of this character specifically. Now, to that point, I don't really have an alternative name in mind at this second. Maybe Surferboy or Surfertron or Surfbot. I know those aren't great names either, but I feel like they're more fitting for this character than Code Red. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I do gotta say, I also really love the packaging on this one, especially for non-window packaging. They really went all out on the packaging on this one. So on the front, you've got the Surferboy Pizza box with some other awesome art on there. You got an image of the figure right there, Transformers, the crossover, and they even used the Demogorgon in the logo. Like I said, the Demogorgon's probably the most iconic thing from Stranger Things, other than 11, of course. On this side, you've got the crossover logo and an image of Code Red. And this is one of my favorite parts about the packaging. I know it's a little thing to get excited about, but I love it. On this side, we've got Code Red as a Netflix profile picture, which is really cool. I wonder if you can actually use this on Netflix or not, because that would be really cool if they added this to Netflix. So you could do that too. I don't know. If someone knows, throw it in the comments. I'll probably check sometime after this video. On the back, you've got some images of the figure in both modes, as well as his accessories, and he comes with some cool accessories. And that's pretty much it for the outer sleeve of the packaging. The inner sleeve is actually a little pizza box, and I also love it. Like I said, they did a great job on the packaging for this crossover. Honestly, this is probably the coolest packaging for the crossovers, or amongst the coolest packaging for these crossovers. So you've got the Surferboy Pizza box right there on the front, and then on the inside, because I've already taken him out to play with him a little bit, there he is in the packaging. I think I put the insert back in upside down. I even love that they put the grease stains on the upper lid of the box on here. And if you look down here, they've got all the little check boxes for what kind of toppings and stuff you put on there. It's simple, it's little, it's silly, but I love it. This is pretty cool. Anyway, that's it for the packaging for real this time. Real quick, before we get to the figure, there is one other thing I wanted to touch on. Hasbro, the past year or two, has been wrapping their figures, wrapping their accessories in this tissue paper material, right? Well, they wrapped the figure itself, because he doesn't come visible in the little cardboard cutout. He comes wrapped in this tissue paper here and that. This was actually really cool. So It's got the drawing, you got Salt Lake City here, Hawkins here. It's a little difficult to get kind of uncrinkled and intact because they tape it after they wrap it, which unfortunately kind of ruins this, as cool as it is, just a little bit. You've got 11 here. There's a cactus. You've got some coordinates right here. I'm not sure where those coordinates are at, but I might have to look those up later too just to see. And this is really cool, actually. I like this a lot. I like how they're getting a little bit more creative with this tissue paper wrapping. You've been seeing it across Hasbro's toy lines since they've started it. Some of them were just as simple as just branded wrapping, and for a lot of their figures, they still do that. So like the Transformer ones, a lot of them have like little Autobot symbols on them. The Adventure series for Indiana Jones had like the little map stuff on it, and some of the Star Wars ones, actually most of the Star Wars ones are just plain paper, but for Transformers, G.I. Joe, and some of the others, they've been doing some really cool little, you know, special wrapping. And honestly, I just kind of feel like I gotta keep this, even though it's a little torn and messed up. It's such a cool little thing that they included. Like I said, they went all out on the packaging here, and it's just these little things here that are really nice and appreciated, and I do like it. And here is Code Red out of the packaging, and he looks cool. He's a nice little solid van figure. Honestly, I'm surprised how unique his mold is. And you'll also notice, if you look close there at the grill of the van mode, there is a clear Volkswagen logo. So this is a licensed Volkswagen vehicle mode on this figure, which is also very cool because the van was a Volkswagen van in Stranger Things. So I'm glad they got that license there. I can't help but feel, however, this might have been one of the potential molds for what we ended up getting for the Studio Series Ironhide and Ratchet, because I see elements of that mold. I see elements of the Siege and Earthrise molds of Ironhide and Ratchet here, even in the transformation, although the mold is very different from those, and taller by a good amount as well. And I'm glad they didn't use this for those figures, considering he's got this little window backpack bit going on here. There's some hollow bits here and there, mostly due to transformation. And while I could see this being turned into an Ironhide and a Ratchet, I like that they used this mold for this guy and used the molds we got for Ironhide and Ratchet, especially for the Studio 86 line. Now, he is still very articulated. Head is on a ball joint, fully articulated shoulders in and out, upper bicep, single jointed elbows. The wrists are actually on a ball joint. Now you mostly get swivel articulation, especially if you're just going to rotate it side to side, and you get some good in and out because it's on a ball joint, but it is on a ball joint, and I do like that quite a bit. Waist articulation, hips, upper thigh, single jointed knees, side ankle joints, which can actually go out pretty far, again, due to transformation. Nothing forward and back, and that's pretty much it for articulation. I really like that head sculpt a lot. I like the kind of headset little bit he's got going there, coming down next to his mouth. I think that looks really cool. He comes with a little Energon blue axe here, or hatchet, or tomahawk, whatever you want to call it. He also comes with this little Energon blue mace, or maul, whatever you want to call it. And I just want to talk about these for a second because these are very interesting and distinct. I like that word, distinct molds that came with Code Red here. And I have a hunch that these weren't originally designed with this figure in mind. Because if you look at them, real close, they're very, very similar to the weapons used by a couple members of the Dino Force. Yep, the Dino Force, who serve under Death Saurus, which has been heavily rumored, even by Hasbro, to be coming soon in core class scale as a repaint and remold of Volcanicus that we just finished in core class scale. These are really closely resembling their weapons, or at least 2 out of the 6 members' weapons specifically. So I just wanted to touch on that real quick because it feels like we're getting warmer and closer to the Dino Force and Dino King, which fingers crossed that we actually are, because that's a set I really, really would love to have in a modern American release. Now, that's not the only accessory he comes with. Of course, he comes with his little Surferboy Pizza sign that sits on the top of his van mode. Now, it does transform. You pull this little bit forward, which reveals the blaster. You pull this little section back right here, and you can take this cool little flame Cheeto effect, which plugs right onto the end of that. And you can also take his little Surferboy Pizza box that he comes with here as well. And that can plug right here in the top of his weapon. So his weapon is loaded with pizzas. I mean, yeah, okay, cool. I'll take it. Now, of course, you don't have to leave it in there. My one big complaint about this is there's not really any way for him to hold it in his hand. He's got this little rectangular peg bit there, which, well, he's covered in little rectangular pegs, but they don't really fit the pizza box. So it's not like he can wear it as a shield. You can kind of tab it onto the one on his back, but that just looks weird and out of place. You can also kind of tab it onto this one on his forearm here. It's a bit of a tight squeeze, and as you can see, it just popped right off on me. So it's not like it's really meant to plug in there, and it's going to kind of stress the plastic out. But you can kind of get it to where he's holding a pizza, and it actually looks like he's holding the pizza. I don't know. I feel like there should have been more thought put into the pizza box specifically and where it can attach and display on the figure, because there just aren't really very many options, and the options we have available aren't that great. And from what I haven't been able to find, there really isn't storage on his alt mode for it either, which is also not great, unfortunately. So while he comes with cool accessories, the storage of said accessories should have been thought out a little bit more, in my opinion. Because, I mean, yeah, it's cool that he can have it. It's cool that it fits into his weapon. In fact, I love that it fits into his weapon. That's really, really cool. But I should also be able to display it in other ways or make it look like he's actually delivering it, you know? Now, for his weapon, of course, he can wield his blaster here in his hand. What's also cool is you have these little side pegs here and these little side peg holes, so it can mount on either shoulder, so we can have a shoulder mounted blaster, so his hands are free for better fighting. So you can take his little melee weapons here and put them in his hands like so. So he's all armed up. You can also take his melee weapons and plug them onto each other and have a double-sided melee weapon, which is very interesting, having an axe with a blunt end. I mean, honestly, this would probably look better flipped, but it's still a really cool thing you can do, and you can store these on his back. So on these little door panel sections here, you can take his weapons. They have these little rectangular pegs. You can peg that one right there on that side or the other side, and then you can take this one and peg that one onto that side or the other side and have his weapons displayed on his little wings on his back. Transformation is pretty simple and straightforward and very Ironhide and Ratchet-esque also too. First, we're going to take off all of these weapons. So take off that, all that good stuff. Next, let's go ahead and just straighten out those arms. Let's go ahead and straighten out those legs too while we're at it. Come over here to the hands, fold those hands in all the way into the forearm, like so. Come over here to the legs, open this little front panel, open this little front panel, very Ironhide and Ratchet-esque. Take the feet here, and those are going to fold all the way in like so on that double hinge joint. That piece is going to come down like so to fill in more of that back section. There you go. There's those two sections. You can peg them together now if you like, but I'm going to leave them unpegged so we can fit stuff together just a little bit better. Go ahead and come over here to the chest, pull this whole section off and untab it. Go ahead and pull this section up and straighten up that front of the van. Push down the head, push back in the head, and then we're going to rotate this waist, bring it up just a little bit. These arms are going to fold in and peg into the underside of the roof of the van mode, and then bring all of this down like so. And the reason I wanted to wait to put the legs together is there is a little lip on this rectangular peg here to help secure the alt mode into place. So it's easier if you just slide in these little leg sections rather than just try to push it up and into it, because once again it's got that lip here to help it stay secured and into place. So just slide in those two pieces together like so, and that'll secure it. That'll get it all pegged together like you need it. And then what we do is we fold down these upper windows, come over here to these side door panels and peg those into place, into their sections like so. And then it's not quite done yet because of course we've got to add the weapon, which is the sign. So take those off, push that in, push that in. There we have the Surferboy Pizza sign, and then just put on your Surferboy Pizza sign on top of your van mode. And now that we've gotten this, I still hope we get the Pizza Planet truck from Toy Story at some point. I mean, yes, with Disney, it can be a little tricky, licensing, all that stuff. But Hasbro has a lot of licensing with Disney, so, you know, maybe we could get a Pizza Planet truck now that we've got a pizza delivery van, and a Pizza Planet truck is way cooler than a pizza delivery van. Just saying, even if it is from Stranger Things. And I like that all of the windows that aren't translucent plastic are painted, even on the back this time. They actually painted the rear windshield for once in a long while. So I love that. I also love the other little details and bits. You've got Surferboy delivery, hot to your door, all that good stuff. The little brake lights and stuff are all painted in. The headlights are painted blue, I guess, to match the windshield. It would have been better if they were white or silver maybe. There's the Volkswagen logo in the front and the back of the van mode. And that's pretty much it for Old Code Red here. Pretty simple, pretty cool release. Nice little crossover. Would have been cool if they did a 2-pack, kind of like they did with Jurassic Park, where we got both the van and a Demogorgon. But like I said, I'm still holding out that we're going to get a Demogorgon at some point. Guys, thank you so much for tuning into today's review featuring the new Transformers Stranger Things crossover, Code Red, as the Surferboy Pizza delivery van. What did you think of this crossover? Is this one of your more favorite Transformer crossovers? Or was this one of the more, yeah, it's cool, I'll get it kind of crossovers? Or is this one you passed up? Let me know in the comments down below. What's a crossover you hope to see some point in the near future? I still really want to see, I know I said Pizza Planet already, but more importantly than that, I still want a Mystery Machine crossover. Make it happen, Hasbro. I know licensing is probably the main big roadblock in the way here because that's with Warner Brothers. But still, the fans I've seen on many, many platforms have voiced that they want a Mystery Machine crossover. There are so many awesome classic 80s show and movie things that we want crossovers for in this Transformers set of figures. In Stranger Things, it was never not on the list for me, but it was nowhere close to the top on the list for me. Scooby-Doo is much higher on the list of crossovers that we want over this guy right here. And now we've got a really good van mold for potential crossovers in the future. And with some tweaking, I could see this becoming a mystery machine in the future. Just saying. Anyway, let me know which crossovers you would like to see in the comments down below. And stay tuned for more crossover reviews, because as long as Hasbro keeps doing these really cool crossovers, we'll keep covering them for you. Like and subscribe and follow us on social media for more. Check out our sister website and YouTube channel, CoolToyReview.com, and like and subscribe to the Cool Toy Review YouTube channel for all kinds of awesome toy-related content. If you're looking for Star Wars content, however, check out Rebelscum.com, the world's oldest and largest Star Wars fan website not owned by Disney. Like and subscribe to the Rebelscum.com YouTube channel for all kinds of awesome Star Wars toy-related video content. And Rebelscum.com is hosting the first ever Rebelscum Con coming up this summer, June 27th through the 30th in the heart of North Texas in Allen, Texas at the Allen Convention Center. And to book your experience today, go to RebelscumConventions.com. Once again, that's RebelscumConventions.com to book your experience today. If you're looking for some awesome, cool collectibles and merch, come by our physical location located inside Order 66 Multiverse in the shops at Willowbend Mall in Plano, Texas, which also houses Order 66 Toys, the world's official all-collectible Star Wars toy store. And in case you're not local, they go live every Friday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on the Order 66 Toys Facebook page, and they ship all around the world. And last but not least, check out our free archival website, collectorsoracle.com. Now, we don't have Transformers or Stranger Things for that matter on there right now, but we do have a lot of Star Wars toys and collectibles archived currently. You can mark things you have, you can mark things you want, you can share your haves, wants, selling or trading with friends and family alike, and the best part is, it's all absolutely free. We'll see you guys later, we'll see you another time. Transform and roll out. And maybe order a pizza while you're at it.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.